In this video, we're going to talk about the importance of having a spending budget, goal, and plan. But before we do that, I want to give you a completely unrelated example, but stick with me. You have two people, person A and person B. They both want to lose 10 pounds. Person A says, I'm going to eat right and I'm going to exercise. Person B says, I am giving myself 2 months. I'm going to go to the gym 5 times a week before work. I'm going to write down everything I eat and limit my calories to 1,800 per day, 6 days a week, okay? Obviously, person B with the action plan is going to have a greater chance of success. Now, I've been person A, I've been person B, all right? And I think we can all relate that we've wanted to lose 10 pounds before, and if not, I hate you. But the point is this, just like with Amazon, you can't just say, I want to make this amount per month and not have a plan in place in order to achieve those goals. You have to have an actionable plan or steps or guidelines to follow so that as long as you follow them, everything else is going to fall into play. In this video, I'm going to share with you how my mindset has changed, and it's really changed my business. A very simple way I keep track of my spending budget, how many days I source. And I do want to say before we dive into that, I remember being a beginner, and I remember listening to people talk about selling on Amazon, and I thought they were clowns. They always talked about their spending budget. And I was thinking, I don't care what you spend. It matters how much you make. But now I get it as an Amazon seller who's been doing this for almost 2.5 years. Basically, it comes down to you need to know your numbers. As long as your business model isn't drastically changing, your parameters on what to buy don't change, your spending doesn't go crazy overnight over roof, and you're willing to take way less return on investment or profit margin, then you have a back history of what your typical monthly profit margin is. For me, it's right around 18% right now over the last 5 months of doing online arbitrage. For this example, I'm just going to call it 20. So if I want to achieve a goal of $10,000 profit a month, I'm not just going to say, hey, I need to source more. I'm going to say, based on 20% profit margin history, that means I have to do $50,000 a month in sales. So now I need to understand, and the whole point of this video, how much do I have to spend every month in order to achieve $50,000 a month in sales? And those numbers are going to be different for everyone. I'll put a link here. I made a video breaking all of this down. But instead of just saying, hey, I'm going to source and I'm going to put a couple hours in here and there and feel it out on my free time, if you really want to hit your goals, the only thing that you really can control is how much you spend. You can't worry about price tankers. Things are going to be inevitable, but profit margin always kind of, it evens itself out. And that's why using that as a reference point in your historical data is so important, so that if you just know how much you have to spend and you create a spending budget each month, the profit and your sales will just fall into place. So I've just recently implemented this spending budget, and I'm all about keeping things simple. I literally have an Excel sheet that's just one line, right? There's, let's just say on average 30 days in a month, literally just 1A, we're putting how much I spent, 1B, 1C, 1D, one column, just so I have a visual of how much I'm spending on a daily basis, and I just check in every couple days to see where I'm at, to know if I have to ramp things up, if I'm on schedule, if I can cool off a little bit and wait maybe for some good deals to come. The same way that if you were losing weight, you'd probably get on the scale every day or two just to check in with yourself to know what direction you're headed, okay? Simple Excel sheet. Now, I mentioned I would share with you how I go about it. This has been very fluid and ever changing for me, but I've recently come to this point, and it could probably change by the next time I update on this. I really like setting a weekly spend goal. So if I want to spend $40,000 a month, I like to break it down to $10,000 a week. Now, I don't go further and say, well, that needs to be like $1,500 a day. The reason for that, something I have found tremendous success with, is having 2 to 3 days of sourcing being my number one priority, putting very few things on my calendar that day. Maybe waking up early, knocking out emails from my other business, or whatever the case may be, but my number one priority those days, and putting minimal other things on the calendar, is to source, okay? And so that has become a point that I do it 2 maybe 3 times a week. And that's why I don't have a daily spend, because I think that I'm more productive and just happier in general, having time for other things. And I also think when you dedicate yourself to really going deep, and that is your sole focus for a day, that ROI on that time is far greater than just clocking in every day and going through the motions. Quality over quantity. Okay, I'm really big on deep work, or you can call it that. As far as what my actual spend goal is right now, it's currently $40,000 a month. And the reason I like to use that is because I strive for about 30% return on investment. If I spend $40,000 a month repeatedly at 30% ROI, that would be $12,000, which is above my goal. But I leave room for contingency. I leave room for the fact that I know a lot of this inventory can get tied up in transfer sometimes. Price taking happens, whatever it is. So I would rather shoot a little above it than not enough. But the point is, know your numbers, reverse engineer your goals, and then pick a number, in my opinion, that's a little above your goals, so that, because contingency always happens, things happen, right? Why not plan for that and be on the other side instead of not enough? So I don't want to overcomplicate things. It's really that simple. I know my numbers, I reverse engineer my goals, and I determine what I have to spend every month in order to achieve those goals, okay? I also have some cushion for contingency, and I have a very, very simple Excel sheet. Again, going back to the weight loss example, the person with the actionable, simple steps that sets themselves up for success and has a blueprint is gonna win every time. We all know that. That's just common sense. So this little tiny change in my business, instead of just doing it when I have free time, having no idea how much I'm spending except checking my credit card balance on occasion, has really changed the business. Because I know if I follow my spending and the metrics that I'm using, the profit is literally just going to fall into place. It's a trickle-down effect. It's simple, it's effective. I highly suggest it if you're not doing it yet. I'm Jonathan. Thanks for being here. This is Duke Does Amazon. We're on Instagram as well. Questions, comments, topics, put them below. Have a great day. I will see you guys soon.